All living things are made of cells. Living things include people, plants, fungi, animals, and unicellular organisms that only have one cell that makes up their whole entire body. Things that are not made of cells would include the sun, water, pants, your phone, and rocks. You know that something is living because it goes through certain processes. That includes growing, living things reproduce, living things excrete, that means poop, and living things make fuel or use fuel. Some living things are only made up of one single cell. Others, though, are made up of many, many more. Those are complex organisms, including humans. We are made up of 100 trillion cells. Although atoms are smaller than cells, because atoms are actually the building blocks of cells, atoms are not alive. That's how cells are the building blocks of living things, or the smallest unit of living things. Cells' shapes help them to do different jobs. So here you see a nerve cell that has long dendrites because it transfers messages to other cells and parts of the body. You also see a red blood cell there that has an indentation because it carries oxygen and other things throughout the body. Stomach cells are long because they need lots of surface area so that they can absorb all of the nutrients that you eat. Plant cells have a different shape, skin cells have a different shape, and muscle cells' shapes allow them to stretch as you contract your muscles. Inside your body, you have different organs that help you to survive. These include your heart, your stomach, your lungs, your liver, your skin, many other things. Similarly, inside of a cell, there are small parts called organelles. Those help the cell to do its job. These organelles each perform a different function. For instance, the cell membrane is similar to a fence or a gate because it protects the cell and it keeps things in and other things out. The mitochondria makes energy inside of the cell. The endoplasmic reticulum works as a path for things to move around inside of a cell. And then there's the nucleus. It gives directions in the cell, similar to a boss or a parent, a principal, or someone who runs things. Inside of the nucleus, which is the boss of the cell, there are chromosomes. Those chromosomes are like the blueprint to a house. The blueprint tells an architect, or he draws it and then he uses it later so that he knows where different things should be. It provides directions for him. So the nucleus is the boss and the chromosomes are the directions. Different organisms have different numbers of chromosomes inside of their nucleus. So humans have 46. Dogs have 78. Ants have just 2 chromosomes. A roundworm has 4. Adder's tongue, which is a plant, has 1,260. A pea plant has 14 chromosomes. Watermelon has 22. And a single yeast cell has 16 chromosomes. These chromosomes have different sections, and those sections determine your genes. They determine your traits. And so one section might determine your eye color. The next section might determine your hair texture. The next section might determine whether you're tall or short. The next section might determine how your heart functions. The next section might determine your nose shape. The next section might determine your lip shape. The next section might be your face shape. The next section might determine your muscles and how their capacity to be built. What other things can be determined by your genes? What other traits do you have, or how else does your body work? Think of ear shape, finger length, the fact that your liver works or doesn't work. All the things that make you up and allow you to live are coordinated and determined by genes. And those genes are sections of chromosomes. And those chromosomes can be found in the nucleus. And the nucleus is the boss of the cell. Cells reproduce in two different ways. They either reproduce asexually, which means that a cell that has two chromosomes, for example, will produce another cell that also has two chromosomes because that cell it created is an exact copy of it. That's how body cells are created. So those would be your eyes, your hair, fingernails, toes, your heart, your liver, your lungs, your blood, all of those things. We've also learned about sexual reproduction, and those cells are created through a process called meiosis. Although the body cell, may have two chromosomes, it creates cells or gametes, sex cells, that have half that number, because half the number will come from mom and half the number will come from dad. So sex cells are created through meiosis, and body cells are created through mitosis. Your mighty body cells are created through mitosis.